Hi, everybody. Welcome to Discover College Soccer. Today, I'm lucky enough to be joined by Coach John at Dallas College, Cedar Valley. Welcome, Coach.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. We're just chatting and I'm looking up. Dallas College is interesting because there's, I think, six, seven branches of the college, but six, I guess, out of the seven have sports. So you are one
Yes.
of one of those. So that's cool. Um, I guess. you know, eh, Being a junior college program, we're talking here beginning of February, uh, especially on the girls' side. How much of your recruiting class is locked and loaded, and how much do you still got going?
I probably have half my class locked and loaded, if you will, and then the other half are just right there, pretty much about to go ahead and sign with us. It really for us, it's all about Texas high school season. As far as Cedar Valley goes, I can't speak for the other schools, but the high school season for us is really important because of just the makeup of Dallas College, being a primarily uh, Dallas Independent School District slash surrounding area uh, community college, which is what we are.
Well, hey, I mean, I'm in Florida. We got that winter high school season too, so I feel your
Yeah.
pain in some instances, but I mean, you got a big ECNL event coming to Texas. I know this coming weekend as well. Do you guys get to any of those like club showcase events? Kind of what are the ones that you find are good for you guys?
Yeah, no, we do. And there's some interest, but uh, the majority, since I've been here, this is my fourth season, and the majority of successful recruiting has come through area high schools, more so for me personally. Even though back when I was at the 4 year level, I obviously club was, I didn't even go to high school games. It was pretty much all club type showcases,
Yeah,
kind
no,
of like the one in Fort Worth this weekend.
yeah, no. I mean, it makes sense. Um, What about ID camps? I know they're kind of all the rage these days. Do you guys do any camps? Do you or your staff work external camps? Are they part of the process at all?
Yeah, I've done ID camps here, and they work really well. I think for small colleges or junior colleges, if you put out the word that you're having an ID camp and you have, I don't know, 30 kids show up, that's usually a pretty good thing because we don't have the name recognition of the big gigantic schools. So if they come to our ID camp, they're usually pretty serious about it, and we will typically get a large percentage of those kids to commit to us at some point. So ID camps are great for us, and or recruiting events, any kind of recruit day of any sort is always really good for us as well. Because if you come to this little school and you're really interested, there must be a deeper interest because the big schools get a ton of kids. They put out an ID camp and they get a lot more than we do. So the kids that come here are specifically targeting, I think, this kind of school.
Okay, well that makes sense. Well, whether it's at a high school game, an ID camp, anything, kind of what makes up that hierarchy of things you're looking for in a player, both on and off the field.
Well, I mean, it depends on, positionally, what kind of characteristics, I guess, physically we're looking for. As far as just overall, I really want good character kids, kids that are going to be committed, are going to work hard, are going to have a good attitude, are going to, be on time, do the job, and just good kids that you can rely on. That's the biggest factor or the biggest thing that we're looking for. And then, of course, positionally, it could be if we're looking for, goalkeeper, we want somebody that might have a little more, height to them or whatever it may be. Center back, same thing. And then, of course, wing players, we're looking for players with speed and just the different characteristics that all the positions mandate.
Oh, I get it.
So,
Well,
yeah.
one thing at the junior college level you see more and more of is international students. We're seeing it at pretty much every level. But looking at your guys' roster, that's not there. Is that
Well,
intentional? Is it just kind of a byproduct of where you guys are as a school, or what's that like?
I think at the NJCAA Division three level, it's similar to the NCAA Division three level in the respect that it's we don't really have any athletic money to offer an international. So an international player is more likely to go somewhere where they can say, "Hey, we'll give you full tuition and room and board or whatever it may be." We don't have that ability. They have to basically find or somehow find some other form of scholarship money. We do have scholarships, just not athletic, and so uh, most of our kids are going to be domestic, and actually, most of our kids are probably going to be Texas and North Texas in particular.
Now I know when it comes to junior colleges, it's kind of split whether there's room and board on campus or not. Are you guys one of those schools that has housing there or not?
No, we're actually none of the Dallas colleges have housing, and that's something that every year we bring up because we would love to have housing. That would be a huge boom for our recruiting, if you will, because kids want to stay on campus and parents want them to stay on campus. So, I was speaking to a recruit last night, and thankfully for these parents, living in an apartment off campus wasn't that big of a deal. And I was like, okay, great. But for a lot of parents, it's important. They want their kid to be on campus, and uh, we just don't offer that at any of the Dallas colleges. So uh, hopefully, it's something we can see uh, later down the road, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk more about the school itself. You've been there a few years now, and I know you've been in Dallas a long time. So, what are some of the things that you enjoy about the school? So maybe some awesome things, maybe some things we wouldn't even know by going through the website.
Well, so I came from the 4 year level. I was there, I don't know, as an assistant and then a head coach for like 25 years or so. And the cost of attendance is a huge difference here. Yes, we're, I guess, a commuter school, if you will. We don't have on campus housing, but when you look at us and compare our tuition and fees to the typical 4 year university, I mean, we're a fraction of the cost. And then when you compare us to any kind of private university, we're definitely a fraction of the cost. So the cost of attendance is really, really good. I know that college nowadays, the big discussion is it's just gotten out of hand with the price tag. And so we offer a good 2 year education with a reasonable price tag, which I really have found to be. It's not uncomfortable talking about it like it used to be at the 4 year level.
No, I hear that, and I'm talking to a lot of kids these days, and kind of again preaching those benefits. And one of the things that I know the kids I talk to who do end up taking the junior college route, that their biggest focus is in, okay, how's that going to help springboard me to the next
Mhm.
4 year college? So have you guys been successful in that arena for the girls who want to continue on, and what does that look like?
Yes, to just piggyback on that last point, it's also good that the kids that come here aren't typically going into debt. So that just wanted to add to that whole thing because debt's a big deal now. Um, but as far as springboarding to the 4 year level, yes, I have found since being here that, for example, this year we have around 10 sophomores. Uh, Probably half of them want to move on to the 4 year. The other half are uh, really glad they played 2 years, but now they want to focus on their nursing program or whatever technical program they're majoring in is going to be so demanding. Some of them are just happy with the 2 years and they're moving on and becoming more like professional students so they can get the nursing degree and or maybe engineering. I got a couple of engineering kids too. So yeah, so it's about half of them typically will want to go play. And the year before, I think we had 3 out of 5 sophomores that went to go play at the 4 year level, and they've enjoyed it. But again, that's the beauty of the 2 year level is that it can springboard kids who need more development, especially some of the kids we're getting. They need more development. They get to play a lot for 2 years. It helps them moving into the 4 year level. And then those kids who just want to get a taste of college soccer, but yet, uh, have a major that won't allow them necessarily to play junior, senior level soccer. Uh, it's a good thing too because they still get to say, "Hey, I played college soccer at Cedar Valley or whatever," and it's a great experience. You know how it is; it's fun.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
we have that's one of the things I really appreciate about this particular school is that we have good, solid students who get the opportunity to play, and then afterwards they choose to move on, they can, and if not, that's okay too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, rewind back to October, kind of the heart of that season. Walk me through what does a typical week look like for a player in terms of winter classes, meals, practices, game cadence, all that kind of stuff.
Well, we keep it pretty simple around here. The kids are driving in typically. Uh, so I have to be very cognizant of the demands on them as far as driving time, uh, work. Most of them all have jobs. So I guess a typical day in the life is they go to classes in the mornings, and then in the afternoons we practice. I usually block off 2 to 4 p.m. for practice, and then almost all of them after practice will go to their jobs. And so somehow they've got to squeeze studying in there. These are busy kids, and they're just really hardworking kids, and they're kind of in the I don't want to say this term, but they're kind of like kids I grew up with who you were expected to work. Once you turn 16, you got to go get a job and you got to pull your weight a little bit. I think these kids are a lot like that, and they try to prioritize everything within the parameters of the day. I don't know if that answered your question, but a typical day, that's kind of how it is. Now, if it's game day, it's similar. They go to class in the morning, and then we start preparing for the game, and then we play the game, of course, travel or maybe not travel. And then a lot of times you'll see them studying on the trip home, just kind of with a little light from their phone or something, reading whatever they're supposed to be reading or writing something. So they stay really busy. They really do.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the team. And I mean, you mentioned how many sophomores, but is there a roster size that you find is ideal that you're trying to hit each year?
Well, at the 4 year level, I used to carry anywhere from 28 to 32 kids. Here, I have found that anywhere from about 22 to 24 is a good, healthy roster. And so, yeah, it's just different. These kids put so much into what they're doing that the one time I had a really large roster here, there were yeah, just there were several kids that didn't get to play a lot. It just wasn't very much fun for them, and so I've kind of parried it down a little bit, numbers wise.
Okay. Well, in terms of the rest of the roster, talk to me about any other staff that help you out or any support staff in the athletic department that help out with the team and what are their roles?
Well, I've got an assistant coach. His name's Antonio Ledesma. He does a great job. The kids love him. He really does a great job with whatever coaching scenario I put him in. We'll usually sometimes, almost always, he'll do a technical warm up, or maybe we'll split the team up a little bit. He does a fantastic job, and then we also have a academic coach, and that's the one thing I just realized is one of the biggest perks for this little tiny school called Cedar Valley is that these kids have somebody who is invested in them. And I mean, obviously, Antonio and I are invested in the kids. We want that. We constantly talk to them about academics, but they actually have somebody they can go to, an academic coach. She's called a success coach, and they can go to her and really get more, I guess, detailed, specialized help, which really benefits us in the long run. We were last year, the last academic year, we were, I think, an academic All-American team or something. So we did really well, and it paid off having her. Uh, we had a little bump in the road academically this fall, but we're still okay. We're still healthy. We just got to get it back to where it was the year before.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's my staff in a sense, and then we have a trainer that uh, but she's she's part time, so it's she's not around as much.
Okay. Well, what about you? Talk to us about your coaching style and the style of play you play there.
Well, I grew up in the Dallas area, kind of ground zero of where soccer began in North Texas back in the day, and just grew up playing with a lot of great players, and then ended up going to college at University of Tulsa, which I really enjoyed. Had a great time, enjoyed playing there, and then actually after college, I went into sales and marketing with a company for a few years, but I just couldn't shake the whole I want to be involved in soccer feeling. And so I talked to some friends of mine and they just said, "Hey, why don't you go out to find out if you really like it? Go volunteer and help with some teams." And so I did and fell in love with it. And of course, one thing led to another, and I ended up getting my first head coaching job, and then it just built from there. But um, I mean, my coaching it's really changed a lot over the years. I think earlier in my youthful days of coaching, um, I was probably I was a little more fiery, I guess, and probably was trying to push them. Through my personality, like I'm going to will them to, to play a certain way. And it did well. I mean, I did well, but I think now that I'm a little older coach, I think I understand I need to just prepare them and I need to facilitate their success more than just try to force it upon them. Um, Whether it's the right way or the wrong way, I don't know. Uh, I know I feel a lot better about my coaching now than I did when I was young. Because when you're young and you're going through all those licenses and things like that, and you know, I remember going to all the licenses, the B and the A, and then all the what used to be the NSCAA, all those diplomas and things, and uh, I mean, it was just development. I was trying to grow into becoming a coach, and I think the last probably 10 years or so, I finally uh, got to the point where I'm just at least I think I have a style, and I think it's probably very player friendly, player centric, and just very player supportive. To be honest, uh, I'm not as focused on me as I used to be because back in the day when I'm trying to get all those licenses and different things under my belt, I was really focused on me developing as a coach. Whereas now I feel like I'm more player focused. And I think it's just, I think if I had to pick who would I play for, the young John or the older John, I think I'd pick the older John personally.
Well, that's a fair self-reflection. I think that's good to see.
Of
Well,
course,
Coach,
had a couple of girls walk in, they may say something different.
right, right. Well, I really appreciate the time. I'm going to leave you with one last question, and that is, if
Okay.
you had one piece of advice to give to anybody going through this college recruiting process, what would that be?
Ask a lot of questions. Find out who your coach really, as far as you can know, who is this person. Um, do your research. Ask questions when you visit. Find out, is this the type of coach that is going to uh, help elevate you to the level that you want to be at? Is this the kind of coach that's going to support you in your academic endeavors? Is this the kind of coach that you can go to if you have something that you really need to to work out, possibly? Whether it be your academics or maybe just a I don't know a personality thing with some another player. Is it a coach that you can trust, and is it somebody that you think after a few years, wow, I'm glad I played there. I think do your homework on the coach. I would say that's the biggest thing. When it comes to Dallas College, we have pretty much all the same academics, all the campuses. So really, it's about, I think, who who's the coach, and do I want to play for them, and will they treat me right, etc.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, thank you so much. Really appreciate it and wish you the best of luck in the off season here and your season this fall.
Well, hey, Matt, thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity to speak. So thank you. You have a great program. I loved it. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
All right.